To Moca's Nola bells and bows, where the love runs deep, the fam stay strong, and the bells, they always ring for us. We the bells and we hold it down, yeah. Real ones only, we don't mess around. All love, no cap, no cloud to chase, just truth in the chat and respecting the space. It's family, Moca got that heart of gold. From the south to the stream, we brave and bold. You ain't gotta pick sides or play a role, just show a real and you already home. Pull up to the bells and bows like a Sunday seed. Got peace in the room and a vibe on beat. No drama, no mess, just minds that meet. Introduce yourself in the chat and the mods gon' greet. Real talk, we got brothers and sisters here. Ain't no fake love, every heart sincere. We've been through storms, but the skies stay clear. Loyalty live, that's the chant you hear. Woo! No chaos in the comment section, just bells with a bond and a bold connection. Safe space, strong face, deep reflection. Mocha, don't fold, that's pure protection. If you ever felt unheard, misunderstood, pull up in the chat, we treat you good. Ain't gotta be loud, just gotta be true. Mocha got the light and we shine with you. Not a panel of pain, it's a platform of pride. Everybody got space and we don't divide. You loyal, you love, that's how we ride. Got a bell and a bow in the name, but a tribe world. From the mods to the lurkers and folks on rewatch. Every tap, every like, we feel it alive. Mocha ain't just a name, it's a vibe you caught. No la bell, no la boast, that's a family, not a thought. Bring it loud, we the bells and we hold it down. Yeah, we do. Real ones only, we don't mess around. Real talk, all love, no cap, no clout to chase. Just truth in the chat and respect in the space. It's family, Mocha got that heart of gold. From the south to the stream, we brave and bold. You ain't gotta pick sides or play a role. To show a real and you already home. Mocha said that to every bell in the space. Whether you typing, watching, or just vibing, you are this family. And over here, we don't fold, we ring. Ooh, welcome.
Hello, 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 everyone. Happy Friday, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Friday. Hope everyone is doing well. We are back with another one, guys. We are back with another one. And I hope everybody's doing fine. Y'all saw the thumbnail and y'all definitely saw that title. We're still talking about Ashlee Janae. She was blinded by love. Clearly, she didn't see the dangers. Dead in Tanzania. But now Joe, his passport is seized, and we're still wondering, where's that ring? And then we also want to know, will Tanzania let this slide? And will her parents finally get the truth? Something about this Ashlee Janae situation, y'all, is just not adding up. It's not adding up at all. And the more information that comes out, the worse it actually looks. Because now we're at a point where Joe McCain, he's being held. His passport is seized. He can't go nowhere. And multiple agencies are looking into this situation. And I just really need y'all to sit with that for a minute, because that don't happen for no reason. That don't happen for no reason. So let's go back and look at it this way. When they had that disturbance, that so-say altercation, and they separated them, Ashley was staying in villa number 25, right? And they moved Joe to villa 65. Yeah, that was an 8-minute walk away. Between 8 and 10 minutes for sure, they said. So now I'm trying to understand, how do we go from them separating them to keep the peace down to him being the one that found her? And it gets even more confusing because he says he found her. Then he claims he went to get security and came back so they both could witness it. What, Joe? What? So my question is, where's the footage? Where's the security statement? Where's anything confirming that, Joe? Because right now, that part, Star, thank you so much for supporting the channel, boo. I'm here in the bushes, girl. I see you, boo. I see you. Thank you, mama. That part is missing. Joe talking about the security statement. You know, I'm looking for the security statement. What security guard took you to the room, Joe? And then this is the part that really don't sit right with Mocha. The hotel said it was suicide. Joe said it was suicide. But both of those things were said before an autopsy was even done. So how did they come to that conclusion that fast? How did they come to that conclusion that fast? I would truly like to know, especially when the hospital is saying strangulation and suffocation. Now hold on, because those to me are two very different things. And then you got marks around her neck, suggesting there could have been a struggle. And then we got that 11-hour gap. 11 hours when we don't fully know what happened. So now the question becomes, what was going on during that time? Was the story being shaped, managed, or something was being hidden? Because on top of that, he told her mother that whatever it was that he told her mother was something that didn't match what was being said publicly. Then the hotel follows up. We got a lot to talk about, y'all. Because the hotel follows up and said the room was left in good condition. What? After everything we are hearing? Suffocation, strangulation, hold up, marks around her neck. That room couldn't have been in good condition. There's no way, because that had to be a struggle somewhere. So again, we ask, what happened in those 11 hours? What happened in those 11 hours? And now his passport is seized. And his passport is seized because the story that he's given is not lining up with what's being discovered. And on top of that, the U.S. Embassy, the FBI, and other federal agencies are now looking into this. So at this point, y'all, this is bigger than just a simple explanation. Tanzania is not about to play with this, because this is a high-profile American citizen at their resort, and this has to be investigated properly because they don't want the stain. So tonight we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. I see y'all up in here. Welcome, 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 everybody. Welcome to the chat. Moderators, I see y'all. I see y'all holding it down like y'all always doing. For that, Mocha loves each and every one of you. I see y'all supporters, subscribers in the chat. I see y'all that Mocha welcomes you with open arms. I love you all for always showing up when I turn this porch light on. And y'all know, before I get too deep into this, I got to say what I got to say. What we're doing in here tonight is for discussion. We're speaking in opinions, asking questions, breaking down what is being reported. So we're ready to do what we're ready to do. And if you're in here and you forgot to hit the like button, please hit the like button for your girl. If you're new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. And let me say a great big thank you To all of my new subscribers, Mocha appreciates you. Come sit on the porch. We're family. Everybody here is somebody. There are no big eyes, no little U's. All opinions are respected. And as you hit that like button, don't forget to double tap those emojis to the right. Let YouTube know that your girl is live and the porch light is open. So guys, let's get into this. And before I get into this, I just need to do what I do. And y'all know what I do. I speak to my people. I gotta speak to my people. Sunshine, I see you, baby. Welcome. Happy Friday. My girl Maudie, happy Friday, sis. PJ, happy Friday, baby. My beautiful sister Dr. J is here. Happy Friday, sis. Happy Friday. Carla Henry, welcome, my love. April Webster, happy Friday, sis. Look at my niece Star. She's up in here. Felicia, happy Friday, baby. Look at Spicy. Hey, baby, happy Friday to you. Happy Friday, SC. Welcome, Kimberly Earls. I see you, my love. Hey, my girl Tony. Welcome, welcome. Happy Friday, sis. Black Goddess, I see you, my love. Happy Friday. My girl Roz is up in here. Happy Friday, sis. Star says I'm in the bushes because I'm driving. Be careful, sister. I love how you always cover these stories and get to the bottom of it. Star, I love you. Thank you, mama. Look at Boo Banga. Boo Banga, welcome, love. Happy Friday, baby. No nonsense. Happy Friday, boo. Happy Friday. Star says, wait, I pulled over. I want to know, why did he have security take him to the room? Why did he just go by himself? He supposedly went by himself first, he claimed. Black Goddess says, Mocha, allegedly, the blue-eyed devil did it. Because why would he have security take him back to the room where she was at after they allegedly found her by the housekeeper? Make it make sense. It's a lot of things. Hey, Toady Scott, welcome, baby. Happy Friday. She said, out of all the lions in the jungle, that white devil pick a white lion, letting her know she's in the lion's den. Tootie, did you recognize that? Out of all the things to stand out, it was the white lion. And that told the story. Bubanga said somebody got some explaining to do. Because the fuck, this shit ain't adding up. What happened to this young queen? We need answers and we need them now. Absolutely. Absolutely. My girl Sunshine said he did it. He did it, damn it, he did it. Hey, Raquel, welcome, baby. Welcome to the chat, my love. Simone, I see you, baby. Welcome, welcome. And happy Friday to each and every one of you. Now let's get into this good old commentary. So let's start with the separation. Let's start with the separation, guys. Now, that altercation that caused them to be separated. We got poor little Ashley stays in the original villa that they were in. They moved Joe further down the road. And my thing is, if the whole purpose was to separate them after an altercation, if the whole purpose was to separate them after an altercation, then how do we circle back around to him being the one to find her? That's what I want to know. How is it that he's the one to find her after they're supposedly separated. Because that right there is where the first problem comes in for me. Because now I'm looking at the setup and I'm asking myself, what exactly happened between the separation and them finding her? Because that timeline right there don't make a bit of sense to me. Now I'm going to ask you all, how much sense does that make to y'all? Why would he go back to the room if they supposedly separated them? Why would he want to go back to the room? It makes no sense to me. He had a plan. And that's the only thing that I could see at this point. He had a plan. She was truly beautiful, yes. And what's more mind-boggling, for him to go back to that room, and you mean to tell me as much security there was at that villa, all the cameras at that villa, you mean to tell me that there's no footage showing him going back to that room? Somebody needs to make sense of this to me. Because he wasn't invisible. He wasn't invisible. So somehow, some way, he got back into that room. And I don't think it was a security guard, a maid, or anything else that gave him access to that room. Now we got to remember, that was their original. Venetia, welcome, my love. That was their original room where they both shared together. So I don't believe a key card came from anywhere else. I believe the blue-eyed devil was still in possession of his key card when they moved him. I believe that. I could be wrong, but I'm believing he was still in possession of the key card because nobody brought him to that room. Because he initially said himself he was the one founder, then he went and get security. What? Why would you need security? Because that's where the question should have came in at. The question should have came in as to, how did you get in the room if we separated you? How were you able to see her in this situation if y'all were separated? That's where I'm confused at. That's where I'm confused. That's where I'm truly confused. Black Goddess says, allegedly. Hey, go get a welcome, my love. Happy Friday to you, boo. Absolutely, Carla Henry. He should have never been there. Hey, Becca, welcome, love. Black Goddess says, allegedly. The guest said they heard noises again like it was someone in the room when they got separated. But in my opinion, he already did it. Made the noise, then got security to escort him so he could have an alibi. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the way I'm looking at that. Because to be in that closet, and I'm pretty sure, and I'm just speculating, for it had to be a struggle somewhere. It had to be a struggle somewhere. Because how does the strangulation comes in? How does the strangulation comes in? And the suffocation. So she attempted to make noise. She attempted to alert somebody. And he took her to the one place where there would be no noise. And that was the closet. That was the closet. Happy Friday, Charlotte Stewart. Becca said I may be wrong, but I really do believe he did it. I do too, Becca. I do too. I do too. Charlotte Stewart, thank you for supporting the channel, my love. I appreciate that so very much. This timeline don't make a bit of sense. His story. Joe said he found her. Then he said he left, went get security, came back. What? For what? So they could both witness it? So that's what he said. But my biggest problem in all of this is where's the footage? Delta Blue, welcome, my love. Delta Blue said, I don't think she knew that man that long. She didn't know him long enough. She did not know him long enough. She didn't know what she was up against. Because there's nothing that came out yet. And the hotel is really holding on to this footage for whatever reason. Because that 11-hour window still needs to be answered for. There's nothing confirming that this is the exact sequence of events. Nothing confirming what Joe said. Because right now, that part of the story is floating out there with nothing holding it up. And when the story has no visible support behind it, that's when I start leaning in just a little harder. Because Joe, your story, Joe, full of holes. Bubanga said it don't take a rocket scientist to figure this shit out. Even Stevie Wonder can see that blue-eyed devil did this. No disrespect to Uncle Stevie. Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, he knows that now they know. He knows that that these people know. Because he gotta know that there's a reason his passport is still being held. He gotta know that there's a reason these people not letting his ass leave. And I don't believe these people is gonna allow him. I don't believe they're gonna allow him to put such a stain on their resort, knowing that all the tourists goes there. I don't believe they're going to let that happen. Go Get It says, if she was that angry to move to another room, I believe she was heated and couldn't wait to get back home. Go get her. I believe that as well. Go get her. I believe when she asked for that cell phone charger, I believe she was trying to make contact with people on the outside. Letting people, she had already let her mom know what was going on. I also believe it was to the point, like Go Get It said, maybe she was trying to get the hell up out of there. I believe that, Go Get Her. And he knew it. and as verbal as she was, I'm almost convinced during the heat of the moment when they argued, she could have told him, I'm leaving your ass right here. She could have said it. We don't know that to be a fact. And he couldn't handle it because we already know he can't control his emotions. Carla Henry said if he didn't do it himself, he paid someone or a couple of people. Carla Henry, that's another great possibility. Hey, Aaliyah, welcome. Trina Ellis, welcome, sis. Carla Henry, that's another possibility. But if there are several people involved, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. And I understand, you know, the lack of finances there. I understand that. Now, if a worker involved themselves and took some side money to assist this blue-eyed devil, we got a problem. Hey, Erica Red, welcome, baby. Happy Friday. We got a problem. Carla Henry said, where did she meet this demon? He reached out to her on the internet. Venetia said she's from where I live. Spicy said, how is this devil going to get out of this trick bag? He won't. He won't. I believe he won't. Because I don't think they would have him contained as, they would have him detained as long as he's been detained. I don't know what made him thought bigger people wouldn't have got involved with this. And the fact that Ashley had status behind her name, that wasn't just going to go away like that. That was not going to go away like that. Raquel says, blue-eyed devil. You can see them in this picture. In all the other pictures, his eyes, he has no soul. There is no soul there. No soul. My girl Marty, she said he needed witnesses to say she unalive when he go to the room. So he takes so long to go back, he busy finding the easiest staff witnesses he could pay. And what better witnesses than a security guard, allegedly? Marty, isn't that something? So was he really the security guard or was he the groundskeeper? Because right now there's no statements from neither nor. And the most hurtful part in all of this, her parents, still here in the States. She's laying on a cooling board 8,000 miles away. And ain't nothing they could do. Absolutely nothing that they could do. My girl Leanne, I see you, boo. Happy Friday. Bubanga says he knew after that argument, he was probably thinking, oh, she might try to leave me once she get back. I believe he really believed that in my heart. Bubanga, it's a possibility. It's a possibility that that's what he was thinking. And then the bigger thing for me, and this is what's not making sense, and this is probably why they're holding his ass, for real. How is it that, because I'm confused, how is it that the hotel can say it's suicide? Joe called it off the top. She hung herself, so it's suicide. But all of this was being said before her, even before the trip to the hospital. Before her trip to the hospital. And what I don't understand, and I'll say it over and over again, they called it from the resort what they felt it was. So they in turn takes her to a private hospital. And that sticks with me. Why a private hospital? Hey, Wendy, Shell, baby, welcome. Happy Friday, guys. Why a private hospital? And they went there with the suicide. They wanted that hospital to write off that this is what they said it was. And in my mind, that hospital said they didn't want no parts of this shit. So they moved her to another hospital. But what gets me is, how do you get to that conclusion that fast? How did they get to the conclusion and was trying to make it stick that she unalived herself? Especially when the second hospital came right behind them and said, oh no, ain't no suicide, nothing. This is strangulation and suffocation. Somebody got to answer for this. Those are not small differences by a long shot. Those are two completely different lanes. So maybe he thought he was going to get off with it. Maybe they took him to that so-say private hospital because they figured they were going to write it off and that was going to be that. But that hospital ain't want no part to that shit. Mary Kay, welcome, love. That hospital didn't want no parts of that shit. So now I'm sitting up here and I'm trying to understand, why did they choose to speak so soon? Could it be that they were trying to shape the narrative before the medical findings had a chance to speak for themselves? I need y'all to tell me. Why do y'all think they called it suicide? And why do y'all think they took her to a private hospital first? I'm curious to know. I'm curious about that one. Becca says her family needs to get her body back to the U.S. Becca did not release it yet. And they really want to. The family need answers. They need answers. And they're fighting tooth and nail for the answers. But these people, Tanzania is not communicating with the family. Absolutely, Ross. Trying to establish a narrative. That's why they took it to the private hospital. And I believe that Tanzania, whoever took him from that villa to that private hospital, I believe they had some sort of connections there. And they felt they could have written it off. They felt they could have written it off, but they got to that private hospital and these people saw the situation and the circumstances. They wanted no parts of that. They wanted no parts of that because once she would have gotten back to the United States of a good old America, and they would have seen that what they wrote on paper as a suicide did not add up to the medical findings, they would have had a bigger problem. Those people didn't want no part of that. No parts of that. Delta Blue says, hearing her talk, she sounded like she was from the hood and wasn't playing his games. Absolutely. She said what what she wanted and what she wasn't going to accept. Hey, Mary Spinks, welcome, boo. This is just he's not arrested, but he's going to be. He's not arrested. They just seized his passport. And hey, Callie, welcome, baby. And the authorities initially said they only had him for questioning him as a witness. He wasn't deemed a suspect. And I'm confused by that. Venetia, I believe that. I don't know what was their involvement. I don't know what their involvement were. But Venetia, those two men that was in the picture, I believe those two men had communications with Joe. Somehow, about what? Who knows? But why would those two men be looking at her that way? And she's strange. And she's a foreigner to them. I believe those two men had communication with Joe. Black Goddess, oh, she said, he's been detained until the investigation is closed. Absolutely. Bubanga says, I may not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but in a lot of pictures on IG, she looks unhappy. And he looks creepy and scary in all the pictures. In all the pictures. No autopsy had been done yet, but she's already labeled as committing suicide. And then when you add what was seen on her body, because we're going to talk about the marks. There were marks. Around her neck that suggested that may have been a struggle. That ain't no suicide marks. And I ain't about to sit up here and act like I'm a medical examiner, though. Hey, Portia, welcome, boo. But I'm going to say that when you hear stuff like that and then you match it with the strangulation and the suffocation being mentioned, it pushes this whole thing farther away from the quick little suicide story that was being thrown out. That's why people are questioning it. Bubanga said, I may not be the sharpest. Okay, I just read that. Absolutely, Sunshine. I believe that those men had a conversation with Joe. I believe that because, that's the way it looked. Sunshine said people that have those black eyes are some evil, spiteful devils. Girl. Carla Henry said, I wish she had paid attention to some of her followers. She was blinded. She was blinded in the worst way. Young. And look at how much older he was than she was. I believe he was a master manipulator. I believe he fed her a lot of lies and a lot of promises. He fed her dreams. He led her to believe that he had what he really didn't have. And she fell for it. Marty said maybe he was getting ready to leave. Marty, thank God they confiscated the passport, because Marty, he would have left. He would have definitely left. And they stopped his ass in his tracks. Tony says, when these monsters commit crimes out of the country, they need to charge them in a place where they commit them. Don't let them come back to the U.S. Tony, I agree. I truly agree. And Tony, he needs to stay there the rest of his days. And she needs to hunt the hell out of his ass every day that he's there. Every day that he's there. Venetia says the hurtful part is that he never contacted the parents about her being unaligned and never offered to send her back to her parents. They had to get help from the community. Venetia, that's the most hurtful thing ever. He lied to her mother. He told her something happened. Didn't tell her what. But then he told the mother, she's okay. She'll be fine. Still not telling this lady what happened to her child. Took him 11 hours to call her to say nothing. Then they're contacted by the resort to inform them that Ashley is deceased. Even after they got the word that she was deceased, they still heard nothing more. Nothing more from him. All communication ceased. But if you were supposed to be my future son-in-law, and if you really loved my daughter like you claim to have loved my daughter, I should have been the first and the last person you communicated with. You should have been sitting on the phone with me till we both fell asleep trying to figure this shit out. If you had no dealings in it. But he's avoiding them like the plague. He's avoiding them like the plague. But you just proposed to this young lady. And I'm with Venetia. You never even said, well, this is what happened. But don't y'all worry. I'm going to take care of everything and I'll make sure I get her body back to the States. None of that. None of that. And I pray to God everything that should happen happens and he never see American soul again. For a crime like that committed in that part of the country, it ain't gonna be a slap on the wrist. And that's where he needs to stay. Levesque, welcome, my love. Sunshine said that's because he already had this plan. And he did this shit to her. Absolutely, girl. Absolutely. Absolutely. And he's such, oh God. Marty said maybe the man, a groundsman in the day, didn't do extra shift as security for the hotel. Did they find her in the daylight hours or evening? I didn't hear when they had said it in a room. I'm not sure. Mary Kay said, I saw the layout of the room, and there's no way she did it. No way. It's impossible. Bubanga said, please explain this to me, somebody, please. If he had so much money and he loved this lady so much, why he couldn't pay for her body to be flown home to her loved ones? All this is bullshit. Bubanga, because he ain't got no money. He ain't got no money. Terrific. Happy Friday, sis. He ain't got no money. None. And I'm almost willing to believe it was her money that paid for this trip. I'm almost willing to believe that. Rod said, and is the medical examiner who determines the cause of death. Absolutely. So how could he and the hotel just outright say it was suicide? How could that be? No way. No way. Mary Kay. Mary Kay, I'm with you when you're right. Mary Kay says, I think the vacation and the engagement was staged. Mary Kay, he had a plan. He had a plan. And if he didn't have a plan, the way this shit played out, it was so scripted. So scripted. But until that body, until they finish the investigation, doing all what they got to do with it, that's when it could be released. But I still believe that Tanzania needs to offer something to that girl's parents, because they're sitting here not knowing nothing. And that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Benicia says, Mary Kay, I've seen it too. And there's no way. She's too tall from what I've seen to unalive herself like that. Absolutely, Benicia. There's no way this girl unalived herself. Becca, that's what I was saying. That's a red flag. From one hospital to another, Why? What did the first hospital say? And that's who we want to hear from, Becca. Mary Kay said the argument that broke out between them was from him cheating. I kind of heard that going around out there, I kind of heard that, but we ain't got no proof of that. Callie says, I believe they took her to a private hospital because she was a foreigner. It's possible. It's possible, boo. Tony said, Mocha, her family should hire Ben and get him to help them with charging him for what he did to their child. Tony, at this point, they're going to need more than Ben. Because at this point, the way this is looking, it's going to be more than just him being charged. Mm-hmm. Hey, Mariah. Happy Friday, boo. But yeah, they need a bin. They need a bin. Martin said, was the police called or just the ambulance? Them high so-called class resorts usually have contracts with doctors, hospitals for guest privacy, allegedly, so cover up to stop bad publicity and image. Boom. Boom. Thank you, Marty. Thank you, Marty. They had connections with the so-say private hospital. They had connections. Marty. That's it and that's all. Marty. They did not want, and I said that in the very beginning, they did not want a stain on the resort. They didn't want that bad look. That's it, and that's all. So, Marty, that's a damn good statement right there. So, Marty, how did she get to that hospital? Did they drive her there from the resort? Because throughout all of this, we never heard mention of an ambulance. We never heard mention of nothing. So did they take her there? Yes, Lord, Marty. My girl Portia. My girl says she working. Oh, we see you, boo. Thank you for dropping in, Portia. Spicy said, I said the same thing. She doesn't seem happy, and she had fear in her eyes, and every picture she took. To me, I saw her smiling. She was excited. I believe she felt a type of way. It appeared in her picture she felt a type of way, right? She was in love for real. He wasn't. He wasn't. He wasn't. Two totally opposite people. Hey, Patrice, welcome, my love. Carla Henry said a picture when they was at the game. Who was the lady in the background? I don't know. I think it was just somebody that was at the game. And she got caught in the picture. Ron said, yep, but who are they to determine her cause and method of death and announce it? That part, that's what bothers me so much. That was announced before anything. That bothered me. Because who gave you the authority? Who gave you that right? And what actually made y'all believe that would stick and nobody would, dig in it to make sure it was what you said? So are we used to doing this? And people just take your word and go on about their business? Man. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Absolutely a fake and a con. Absolutely. Mary Kay said, just like the hooked husband that left the Bahamas instead of searching for his wife. Girl, something is wrong in the world today. Something is very wrong in the world today. All of this shit is strange. All of this is strange. Carla Henry said, I wonder how long they're going to hold her body until they're going to hold that body until everything that the resort said, everything that Joe said, they're going to hold that body until what they said makes sense with what they found on Ashley's body. They're going to hold that body until they finish combing that room. Because clearly, I want to believe within them 11 hours, Joe went back to that room, in my opinion. And he cleaned some things up. Because why in the world would the hotel or the villa, whatever it is, the resort, why would they make a statement? Now, only Ashley was supposed to be in that room. Y'all moved Joe to number 65. So why would y'all come out and make a statement? The guests left the room in good condition. What? What? Stop it. Marty said the first thing come out of officials in the embassy is international jurisdiction. She's a United States citizen. So where does international come into it? He's a U.S. citizen too. And there's a U.S. embassy. Well, they said that the U.S. embassy in Tanzania is who's working on this case with them. So there's a U.S. embassy in Tanzania. Ron says to me, these crimes are so simple and easy to assess. But what bothers me is that people involved are not held accountable for what they do. Roz, and that's the scariest part of it all. I don't give a damn how much how much money this blue-eyed devil supposedly has. You're not exempt from the law, mister. You're not exempt from the law. When the blue-eyed devil didn't keep his relationship with his African-American wife, he should have never went and sought another black woman again. And then he stuck his ass out there and went and sought out a young black woman. 20 years younger. You couldn't keep up with that. But it wasn't what you wanted. She seemingly had what you needed with your broke ass. You was broke. And you took this young woman. You lied to her, caressed her, and you groomed her to be everything you wanted her to be. And she was truly in love. And that love came with a hell of a price tag on it. A hell of a price tag. Carla Henry said, did Ashley parents do a GoFundMe? Yes, they did. They did. Tony said, why she didn't put a tracker in her luggage? And then she have an iPhone where it would send alert if you were in distress. I damn sure have mine set up, and I have an AirTag. Tony, we don't know what she had. We don't know what she had and what she didn't have. So that's one of the things we can't truly speculate on, because we don't know how she was set up. And knowing her, she just knew she was in love. She just knew she was in love. Beautiful soul. Hey, sister. Happy Friday. Love is a dangerous game. A dangerous game. Portia said this situation is so unfortunate and cold in the gutter in a whole nother country type of situation when I took a life and they're trying to cover it up. You know, that's the hurtness part. This child is in a whole different environment, 8,000 miles away. Truly a foreigner. And this is what Joe took her there for. And my thing is, why take her that far for an engagement? Who suggested we go way over there to celebrate a birthday? But I guess Ashley saw no problems because she's used to going all over the world. And she went all over the world and enjoyed every moment without a damn Joe. And you mean to tell me you leave the country this time with the blue-eyed devil and you don't return? Get the hell out of here. Delta Blue said social media is going to make Tanzania cough up something. This story is everywhere, even in London. Delta Blue, you said a mouthful right there. Delta Blue. It's because of the attention this case is getting. I promise you. If this case would have not been getting attention, the blue-eyed devil probably would have been gone by now. If this case wasn't getting any attention, her parents probably would have had her body by now. And they would have just had to accept whatever story they gave. But because the chatter behind it, the questions that's being raised, Tanzania don't want that smoke. Tanzania don't want that smoke. They got to save face. They know that this is how they make their money, by tourism. So why would they let one blue-eyed devil come there and take money out of their pockets, out of their mouths, when the country is already impoverished? Why? That would make not a bit of sense. I don't give a damn what he promises them. He has nothing. Because his ass is broke. Ron says he wants the body held up from shipment. Even if he had the money, the body is evidence. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. And he knows the evidence on that body got his name all over it. Because you can't make me believe we done just had a fight. They done separated us from the fight. They told you to stay over here and I'm going to stay over here. And you came right back to where the fight was. So what you coming back to the fight for? What is your reason for coming back to a fight that you were just separated from? And you still ain't gave a clear response or an answer why you were there. You gotta make it make sense. You gotta make it make sense. Carla Henry said this is just like the Shanquilla Robinson case. Absolutely. And the same last name too, Carla Henry. Welcome to the chat, Sheila. Sheila said he sold his business 2 weeks before their trip. So he got money. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. My girl Portia says, this situation is so unfortunate. Another body laying cold in the gutter. And they're trying to make it seem like this young lady took her own life. When actuality is, they're just trying to cover it up. And that's the sad part. Covering it up. Like everybody's just going to sit there and accept that. $11, I'm still stuck on them 11 hours. Them 11 hours is a long time when we're talking about a death. A story that keeps shifting and a lot of questions being unanswered. So what was happening in those 11 hours? Because I want to know, was the story being shaped? Was it being managed? Were you cleaning up? What was you hiding? Because when times open up, in a case like this, you got to start wondering rather what they're hearing later was already being arranged behind the scenes. And I think that's what he was doing, fixing things behind the scenes. And now your ass is still stuck there and you're realizing whatever it is that you were fixing behind the scenes ain't working out the way you thought it would work out. That makes no sense to me. She deserves so much more. That young lady worked hard to build the life that she has. She worked extremely hard to build the life that she has. Hey, Miss Miracle's mom, welcome to the chat booth. For the blue-eyed devil to come into her life and take it like that. No, that's not. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, Erica. That's not acceptable. Ron said they took her to a place that they had connections with getting that paperwork as they wanted. That's what I believe too. I believe that was the reason for the so say private hospital. That country. Some of those people don't mind doing the most for a few dollars. They wanted it hushed. They did not want this to be as blown up as it is now. Now they're back there and they got to scrimp and scrape and fix all the broken pieces behind the scenes because now the spotlight is on them. We got to be more mindful. We got to be more mindful. Carla Henry said his social media is the devil. All these people getting unalive due to social media. It definitely is, Carla Henry. It definitely is. It definitely is. You don't know what you're playing with behind the screens. It definitely is. People ain't got no good motives. Their intentions aren't pure. It's a mess. Marty said now he pacing up and down singing. I ain't got no money. I'm suffering financially. Somebody need to link him with Granny Monster, in my opinion. Oh no, girl. That girl. Girl. Portia said senseless. So and so. You can look in his eyes and tell he's evil and has something to do with her unaliving. Portia. I can't get over not only how he looks, but when I saw that license plate that said Antichrist, Portia, that told me everything I needed to know about the blue-eyed devil. And I'm still saying, and I'm going to say it over and over and over and over again. This young lady has been involved with this man since 2024. She can't make me believe she did not see that license plate reading Antichrist as well. And she's very intelligent. So why would you stay connected to that? A license plate reading Antichrist. And he's a MAGA supporter. Why would you stay with that? Why would you stay with that? Just to say you had a powdered man on your arm? There's no goddamn way. So you were walking hand in hand with the devil, knowing he was the devil, and you stayed. And I'm going to also ask a very hard question. No disrespect. The question is, how was he accepted? And that's all I want to know. How was he accepted by her parents? Did they ever sit one on one with the blue-eyed devil? This man is wrong. His two left shoes. He did a lot of dirty shit. You look at how he treated his ex-wife. He walked away from her 8 months pregnant while she was dealing with her own problems, taking care of her mother battling cancer. And you mean to tell me you're going to lay, you're going to play, and you're going to eat with a man that has an Antichrist license plate, a MAGA supporter, a skinhead? So hold up. Right now, may God rest her soul. She played a part in this. Why was that acceptable? Why was that acceptable? We want to know what happened to Ashley. But I also want to know, how is it? What influenced her to not see these signs? What was it? because it was clear as day. He showed her who he was without telling her who he was. And that part we cannot dismiss. A lot of times things happens to us, put ourselves in situations for whatever reasons we do. And if we're going to call it out, we have to put ourselves in a position to call it all out. It's very, very unfortunate what happened to this young girl. It's very unfortunate. But when the signs were there, plain as day, so one thing I feel in all of this, when the guests reported that they had been in arguments ever since they've been there, this is what Moca feels. That was not their first rodeo. Moca believes that they had drag-outs, fallouts before they even left the States. She's been with him since 2024. They done had their moments. So why? Because being who he is, he couldn't keep that contained. He couldn't hide that. He treated his ex-wife bad. There's no way. Ain't no goddamn money in the world. Bubanga said he was jealous of her and her lifestyle, and he was bothered by hateration, by her attention. God don't play about his children. These men are sick nowadays. Please, ladies, be mindful and prayed up, because baby, of course he was a he was a live wire. But he had a particular kind. And I understand that people have their preferences in mates. I understand that. But from looking at the type of women that the blue-eyed devil dealt with, he preyed on the weak. Absolutely. His ex-wife, smart, very smart. But she was nowhere compared to him mentally. He had a sick mind. She didn't know him. She didn't know that part of him. And when she had enough, she got the hell away. Only for him to find little young Ashley, somebody that he sorted out. What's going on, hip hop? Happy Friday, boo. That young lady set herself up for something, and I can't even say that she didn't see coming. Because one thing I'm pretty confident of, he wasn't gonna go 8,000 miles to a whole nother country to show his ass, unless he was already comfortable showing his ass. He done this shit before with her, just not to this goddamn extent. Bubanga said there's a lot of sleeping with the devil out here. So we have to stay mindful and definitely prayed up and aware. Absolutely, Bubanga. Portia said, kind of remind me of the Shanquilla Robinson case. Similar, just without the part that she took herself out. It's similar, just because it's in another country. Ron said, but he is a clear person. His rights trump hers. Absolutely. And you know, just because he's a clear person, he thought his rights would trump everybody's over there in Tanzania. That's what he thought. Marty said, don't the people supposed to call the ambulance when somebody assumes sick or unalive? Could be a private ambulance from the private hospital. I'm just saying. Or Marty, or private taxi. I don't know. I don't know how she got there. Carla Henry said, for all we know, they could have took the poor woman's kidneys, body parts. They might have sacrificed her. Oh, Carla Henry, I pray to God not. I pray to the good Lord not. Let's talk about it, Venetia. Hey, baby, let's talk about it. Venetia said, why would Ashley have to ask for a charger? Hello. Now we cooking with Crisco. Venetia, that was my point. An influencer, always on social media. Baby, there's no way she would be without a charger. No way. And I'm pretty sure she was over in Tanzania with several devices. Several. So why in this moment the story comes out that she's asking for a charger? And I still want to know, Venetia, who the hell did she ask for a charger? And why did she never get the charger? Come on, y'all gonna make this shit make sense. So you mean to tell me she asked for a charger? She never got to use the fucking charger. And then all of a sudden, somebody done found her hanging from a closet door? Get the hell out of here. Venetia says, I don't believe that. I don't believe that spraying maintenance man. My thing is, why the fuck would she ask a maintenance man for a charger of all people? Nah, something ain't right. And they need to get their goddamn stories together. Because right about now, 1 + 1 with them ain't adding up to be 2. Just can't trust people. Absolutely, Roz. Roz said, I could tell my IP to be France when I'm sitting in Cali. Absolutely. People don't understand that. Marty said that's where the housekeeper come into play. Clean out the room. That room should have never been touched till the relevant authorities called and inspected it. Marty asked, does Kim Worthy work in Zanzibar? Girl, you're funny. You're funny, Marty. You're funny. But they're moving insane. And I believe within them 11 hours, that's what was going on. I believe when he had all that downtime, he was cleaning shit up. Sunshine says, I pray her parents go to the extreme and not let this piece of shit get away with this. Oh, he ain't getting away with it. At this point, it ain't no getting away. Sunshine said, no, Moca, he went back to finish the fight. And it ended with her being taken out. That's the way it seems. That's the way it seemed. There was no reason for him to have access to that room. No reason. Them people had already separated him. Marty said the guests who heard the commotion must have heard some words that was shouted in that room. Joe wasn't going to go back to the U.S., so now the feds need to grab his dirty ass into their custody on a plane back to the U.S. Joe don't need to bring his ass, that blue-eyed devil, do not need to bring his ass back to the U.S. Let them handle him in Tanzania. You committed the crime in Tanzania. You keep your ass in Tanzania. That's where you stay, and let them deal with you. Let them give you the punishment there, because the punishment in Tanzania is going to be a hell of a lot of different punishment from the United States. Remember, if that blue-eyed devil comes back to the States, there will be no punishment. There will be no punishment. Rod said, who's on the room access registry? I'm pretty sure both of them. Zanzibar, Tanzania is 1 hour flight from the capital. Also, well, child, good. Thank you for the information. Patrice, I agree. Patrice says social media is Pandora's box. Portia said it makes you scared to trust anyone. Now, let alone go to another country with somebody that you're supposed to be happy and in love with. But that's why you have to do background checks. Portia, something is wrong right there. Because, I believe, Portia, I'm convinced she done seen these signs. I'm convinced that ain't his first time showing his ass. Hey, Miss KK, welcome, boo. Absolutely, Ross. And we're not doing no victim blaming here. But we got to put it all on the table if we want to at least halfway touch the surface to the truth. We ain't victim blaming, because nobody deserves what this young girl went through. Nobody deserves that. But we can't close our eyes to the obvious. Mubanga said it was said he was a wealthy man, allegedly. Maybe she stayed for the bag. Ooh, Erica Red. Venetia. They said, well, y'all, that is all beginning to make just a little more sense now. Just a little more sense. Her mom is married to a powdered man. But does that make that shit acceptable? Bubanga said probably not. They probably said as long as their child was happy, they was happy for her. I'm sure the parents didn't know a lot about him. They couldn't have known. They couldn't have known. Hey, Uncovered, welcome, boo. Portia said, and I hate the way my intuition is, because as soon as I saw this, The first thing I said, this man is giving off scammer vibes because he's into this crypto business. And most time, crypto is scamming. And that's one of the things he's being investigated for. There was a federal investigation on him for scamming. Carla Henry said she wished somebody else would have went on that trip with Ashley because she really didn't know him. Marty said it's alleged twice now. It's alleged twice now that he has a woman in Zanzibar. Was that his plan? Married a mystery girl so they can't extradite him? If he got a child with her, they will not leave a child without a dad, allegedly, that's their law. Huh. But where's the mystery woman? Was she ever brought to the forefront? I wonder. Miss Miracle's mom said God gives us signs. We can't ignore them. Absolutely, boo. Absolutely. And all y'all saying the same thing. She ignored the red flag. She ignored the signs, all for money. But I don't understand. I don't understand how she could, I don't understand how she could do it for money because this girl was on her way. She was halfway there, doing her own thing. The love of money, baby, the love of money. It'll do it to you every time. Absolutely, Roz. We hate what happened to her. But shit, we got to look at every damn thing. Everything. Marty said there's no real justice for criminals anymore. They treat them like they're the victim. Too many do-gooders who don't live in real life, boot on the other foot if it happens to one of their loved ones. Marty, you said a word, girl. You said a word. Roz says, I'm not thoroughly convinced. She didn't know a lot about him. She thought he wouldn't dog her out. Absolutely. 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 Hip hop says, I don't know who she was. But that's why I say, stay with your own. And even be vigilant with those. He counseled that woman. Absolutely, hip hop. Absolutely. And absolutely, Roz, we're not blaming her for her dilemma. All we're saying is there were signs somewhere. There were signs somewhere. Ooh. Roz says, but then again, if somebody's talking about the charger, if somebody's tapping your phone, it burns down the battery. She probably was monitored. Wow. Hip hop said she felt the situation was worth the risk. We do it every day when we clock in. Hip hop, you're right. We do it every day when we clock in, but not with your life, though. You know what I'm saying? Boo Banger, good night, boo. God bless you. Until next time. And that was a hell of a risk. Let me see what Terrific said. Terrific said them prison L's over there is, the prison laws. Terrific. Absolutely. Simone says an eye for an eye over there. Terrific said them prisons over there ain't no joke. Terrific. That's where his ass need to be. Let him pay the price over there. That's where he needs to be. You committed the crime there, you keep your ass right there. Carla Henry said these females got to stop going to these countries with these men that you barely know. And not just those you barely know, Carla Henry. Yeah, you might be mindful about going somewhere with a motherfucker you know. You got to take second and third guesses with those that you know, Carla Henry. Marty said, here it comes. That tangled web of deception, corruption, lies upon lies. Remember, you could be sure your sins gonna be found out one day. And he's been doing this shit for the longest. Oh shit, I done touched the wrong button. He done been doing this shit for the longest. PJ says, Mocha, when Ashlee parents receive her body, they need to have a second autopsy done to make sure her organs weren't removed. Yes, Lord. Carla Henry mentioned that earlier, and I just did not want to believe. But then I got to think about where she is. You got to think about where she is. And this is sad. This is damn sad. That these are the things that, it's a possibility of them stripping her of her organs. My Lord, my Lord. I am covered. My sister's up in here. She said he used her to get there because he knew he was not coming back to the United States of America. You know what? I kind of believe that. I kind of believe that. And it's beginning to make more sense. Because when Marty said about the alleged woman that he has there, and then you add that with the federal investigation that he's facing in the United States, maybe his plans were not to go back. But he didn't think. He didn't think he was going to, still be there and living a good life. He didn't think all of this shit would be up against him. He didn't expect this shit to go that far. Good night, Black Goddess. Good night, sis. Rod says they separated them for a reason. They shouldn't be on the room registry for access. She shouldn't have him and vice versa. Absolutely. So we don't know how this shit went down. We don't know. But I know it ain't right. It ain't looking right. Absolutely, Carla Henry. We're not victim blaming. These women need to wake up. These women need to wake up. Being beautiful is one thing. Being smart is another thing. Having all your shit together is something totally different. But don't ever believe that you're above everything and everybody and ain't nobody go fuck you over. You're setting yourself up. Star, shut up. Girl, just shut your mouth. Star says, I believe he's been there before. He had ties there. This was all planned. I felt that too, especially when I looked at those men in that picture. Those two men in the background in that picture looking at Ashley. Those men weren't just looking at Ashley to be looking at Ashley. And I said that. Those men had connections with him. Mr. Boston, hey baby, welcome. Happy Friday to you. Those men had connection with the blue-eyed devil. Those men didn't know a goddamn thing about Ashley other than what the blue-eyed devil told them. And niece, I'm with you. This ain't his first time being in Tanzania. And what makes us, and what made me really feel it now that you say it because how do we get to a private hospital? How are you so comfortable with the staff at the resort to whereas y'all can come up with a conclusion in this moment that this young lady unalived herself and y'all both stick to the same script? How are they comfortable enough with you to accept your word that she committed suicide? And what weight do you carry over there? To whereas whatever you said was acceptable and it wasn't supposed to be investigated. And who knows? Maybe that so-say private hospital then had encounters with his ass before and said, hell to the no, we're not doing this again. This is all looking strange. And I do believe he's been there before. Just it's making sense. It's making sense. Hey, y'all all asking the same questions about the Morgans. Well, we will find out. We will find out. Star says she met him and saw dollar signs, but his business was failing by 76% in 2025. Absolutely. He was broke. He was broke. Hip hop said the problem was he didn't understand black girl magic. That woman would have shot him through the stars. Miss KK said, I bet they are organ harvesters. I'm with you, Miss Moca, that she would have bought with her. Yeah, she should. That's what Carla Henry said. She should have bought somebody with her. Beautiful Soul said, sometimes you can't tell people nothing because they think you're jealous of them. And you know, some of the people that was in her comments, they saw some things and they warned her about it. Ooh, Lord. And it's sad, it's unfortunate. And for people to think that you're jealous of them or want something from them, and everybody's not built that way, you know? Some people actually have genuine and pure intentions. But hey, we all ain't built the same. And that's the thing. I'm Carla Henry. Just keep Carla Henry. I'm with you because right now them organs is worth money, money, money. And the thing is, Miss KK, absolutely. Miss KK say you can't trust people you know either. Got to be siblings or parents. This is so sad, and sometimes you got to be mindful with them. Sheila says, "Ooh, let me see what Sheila got to say, child." Sheila says, "They said every night Joe was going out visiting other women. That made me think the reason she was out walking around to see if she could see Joe with some woman, but she ran into that worker." What you say? Wow. Wow. So the blue-eyed devil took her there because he couldn't afford to listen to this shit. So y'all telling me that the blue eye, and I'm pretty sure, and I'm gonna say this shit over and over again, she paid for that fucking trip because the blue-eyed devil ain't had no fucking money. So she paid for a trip for the blue-eyed devil to give her a fake ass ring just so he could make her feel special, just so he could have an opportunity to visit his other woman. Well, I'll be goddamn. Jesus. Simone said they kept her alive long enough. Hello? Simone says they kept her alive long enough to get her to the second hospital. And that's when she was unalived and took her organs. Maybe, allegedly. Honey child. Honey child. Ooh, yay. All right, we got to keep digging. We got to keep digging. Y'all done rang my bell with them goddamn organs. So now we got to keep digging. Marty says Ashley wasn't the easy target he thought she was going to be. The United States government is disgusting. I don't care who you are. Everybody deserves respect and justice. They're human beings with families that's suffering in pain. Absolutely, Marty. Absolutely. Y'all ass will have me up digging. Look at Mr. Boston. Mocha, I love your voice. God damn. Mr. Boston, you know I love you more. God damn. God damn. Patrice says he has been there before and it said that he was sleeping with some of the women there. Oh, Lord. Yeah, yes, Mocha. Mocha, you ain't sleepy tonight. Mocha, you will be digging your ass off because we wants to know. Sunshine says in the picture, when she's feeding one of the animals, there's two guys standing behind the trees watching her. One have on a mask and the other a hat. Yes, that's the two guys I saw. Roz said, shit, Carla done peeped me on to the organ thing. Roz, we go look into the organ thing. Shit. Portia said, and it'll take over your mind what you think is love. It's truly not. You need to elevate your mind. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm covered said he might owe a debt to somebody, and they probably took her out. Right now, we can't take nothing off the table. Terrific. That's where my mind is. Hey, Rhapsody, welcome, baby. Terrific. That's where my mind is. Especially by them taking her to a private hospital. Y'all done came up with the notion she done commit suicide. Now, y'all done come up with this goddamn notion at the resort. Then y'all take her to the private hospital and y'all want these people to write it off that it's suicide. Them people told y'all go to hell. Hell no, they're not doing this shit. So why would them people turn them around? And I guess they figured that was their connection. Something is telling me that they had connections with those people. These people that probably did a little under the table job or two for them. And them people said when they came there with Ashley, fuck that. No more. No more. We ain't doing this shit no more. Oh, Lord. Mr. Boston says a lot of people do a lot of crazy things when you're a boyfriend for life. Mariah said, I pray to God she wasn't essayed. Man, it's a lot of shit. Mr. Boston said, just saying, up north is play with your life. You get what you deserve. And that's everywhere in life. I believe she played for that trip. Damn, Mr. Boston says he got his chicken box. Well, damn. Absolutely, Patrice. She had a strong pulse, so she was still alive. Simone said, Moca, I got my shovel. I'm going dig too. Beautiful Soul said, I think he was the one that suggested that trip. Well, damn. So that tells a whole story. That tells a whole story. If he suggested that trip, Beautiful Soul, that could only mean one thing. He had a plan. He had a damn plan. I'm covered said, or he might have told her about his wife there, and that she will have to marry him because there you could have multiple wives. And I believe she didn't agree to it. And so he outed her. Well, I'll be fucked. Man, oh man, oh man. Woo! Wow. Another wife. Carla Henry, I only knew him to be married once. I didn't know about, I only knew about one wife. Absolutely Beautiful Soul, snapping all them pictures. And the devil was right in front of her. Marty said, Black Pearl, precious little girl, Miss Mocha, Bell's mod chat. Put you on that pedestal and fight your fight for justice for you and your family. Sleep on, Beautiful Soul. No pain, just peace eternally. Yes, Lord. Well, ain't this some shit? I'm blown. I'm blown. I am covered and came in here and then said some shit. Carla Henry done said some shit. Y'all gonna have Mocha go and make a cocktail. I will be up. I will be up. Roz and Carla Henry crazy. Roz said, see, I love it over here. But Carla Henry, you done fucked me up. Damn it. He's a clear person who is desperate. They sell our skin. Absolutely. And he went to the right place to do it too, Roz. Right place to do it. Hey, Miss Detroit. Happy Friday, boo. Hip Hop said this is a case to pay attention to. The elites. Naziah was limited. This is international, and he's still free. A sacrifice. Hip hop, that's what we said last night. A sacrifice. Sacrifice. So, oh, baby. Mm, 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 mm. Hell yeah, Roz, we gonna connect the motherfucking dots. As Detroit said, I heard he had a goddamn side piece too. We gonna find out. Oh, happy belated birthday, Miss Detroit. Miss KK said that woman was fighting for her life. Just so sad. She was. She was. Well, I'll be damned. Simone said, Mocha, you gonna need that cocktail or two or three. Marty said, I understand organs, but we need to be mindful of her family. They could be watching. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Marty. And yeah, you're absolutely right. I just want her family to get all the answers that they need. I want her family to get the answers that they need to get her back home and then move forward and do what they got to do. Because, baby, somebody got to pay for this shit. I know that's right, Star. We go crack it. Hip Hop said, anybody check his background? Is he connected to the Masons, the Eastern Stars? Hell, Hollywood. Hip Hop. Hip Hop. The blue-eyed devil is an antichrist. He's the antichrist. The blue-eyed devil is a MAGA supporter. The blue-eyed devil is a skinhead. The blue-eyed devil is broke. So is that enough for you, hip hop? Is that enough for you, hip hop? Carla Henry, that part. We don't mean no harm to her family. These little tidbits could be helping them to look into some things that they would have never thought to look into. I mean, look at where they are. Look at where all this shit went down. This is a bit too much. This is a bit too much. Simone said maybe we could help her family with the questions and people who may be involved. They could be taking notes. I pray they are. And I'm glad his goddamn passport. And you know, I think if it was just left up to the resort and the little police that the resort play with, I believe his ass would have been gone. But I'm glad they held his passport because the story that he done gave to these people ain't adding up to what these people is finding out. They're telling them right now, bitch, you ain't leaving. Not while you ain't leaving your ass from here until we sort this shit out. So right now, this investigation is active like a motherfucker. Serious. It's serious. They finding out some shit about this blue-eyed devil. They really are. And right now, it ain't given simple. It ain't given simple. Because bitch, if your story was clear, them people would have never took your goddamn passport. Never. Mr. Troy said, I do this. That's what this family go do. Investigate. He knew out the country. Let me, girl, I lost your comment. Let me grab it. Let me go back and get it. He knew out the country nothing would go too far. He got money. He Miss Detroit is that bitch broke. They can be bought easily over there. But the villa, not on his side. They told on him. Listen, the villa told on him after other people got involved. Because they was going to hold that shit. Sunshine said her family should want to know if her organs are still intact. Being that they're holding that body, this could be a part of an organ trade. And look at how long they're holding it. Hip hop said there's too much unanswered for it to not have weird circumstances. Absolutely. This shit is weird. From the very gate, it was weird. So what do we expect? That shit started out weird. I understand being adventurous. This young lady loved this blue-eyed devil so much. Y'all notice in her pictures, Ashley has matching tattoo. She got matching tattoos with the blue-eyed devil. This is horrible. But yet they want us to sit here and accept what they got going on and what they're offering and what they're saying. That's not how this shit goes. At all. At all. But y'all know us. Ron said, so he worked that shit. Absolutely. Terrific. I wouldn't listen. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't put it past him. I wouldn't put it past him. But I know right now they're being very, very careful. Because if Ashley, if her name didn't ring bells, if her name didn't ring bells, the story wouldn't be so loud right now. And she could have been one that just disappeared with nobody knowing that she ever existed. And I still have that question. How many more women he done took? How many more melanin women he done took to Tanzania? I'm covered, I'm with you. I ain't going out the country with nobody, not even with my goddamn self. Something ain't right. And you know another thing that bothers me? Because this girl, she had money. And I'm going to say it over and over and over again. She had money. And her mother said that they had a very beautiful relationship and how close they were. And being that she had money, I'm wondering if that blue-eyed devil had this young girl take her money and invest in his broke ass. Because I'm baffled. Hey, my girl Kenyatta Marie, because I'm baffled. as to why these people needed a GoFundMe. Because if she was, doing well, they could have had access. Hop on a goddamn plane the next morning and took care of their business. This lady had money. And their parents are out here looking for a GoFundMe to handle the financial part of them getting there and finding out what they need to find out and getting her back home. So I wonder if the blue-eyed devil really had a plan. Hip hop said it's an imitation of life type of thing. She didn't care for her own kind. But there we are. You still have her back because we understand how easy it is to lose your identity. Ain't that a bitch? Ain't that a bitch? Hip hop. Hip hop. You just said a whole word. Yes, you did. Miss KK said this lady at work said she heard that Cardi B would pay for her funeral expense. Cardi B talking. Cardi B is talking. Mm-hmm. Carla Henry, yes, he did. Ain't nobody like old Joe. But Joe sure did say stop going to them other countries. He damn sure said it. Tony said, y'all better stop for a minute and check your surroundings and attitudes before you jump on a flight with people before you jump on a flight with people. That is so sad. Absolutely. I ain't going on no flight with nobody. I'm like Ross. I'm staying my black ass right here. Why I gotta leave? For what? For what? I ain't familiar with what's over there. All I know is what I know, and let me stay here. Marty said Ashley was blinded by love. Unfortunately, it wasn't reciprocated. It's a sad ending to a vibrant, intelligent young woman with ambition and dreams not yet fulfilled. Absolutely, her choice. Ms. Detroit says TMZ said he had help. His story not adding up. And she didn't do black people. And TMZ didn't have to say she didn't do black people. She said she didn't do black people. What? Ron says, I got to go to another country. My folks built this shit. And I don't. Oh, and don't nobody like us? I'll stay right here. That part. That part. That part. Shit. Woo, loud. But y'all, we about to say like Simone, get our shovels. We got some digging to do. Absolutely hip hop. I said that earlier. She was blinded by promises. He promised her some shit and manipulated her to get her shit. And manipulated his way to Tanzania. He promised her some shit. Hey, Nortark, welcome to the chat, my love. Absolutely, Roz. We go dig it. We got to. We got to. Miss KK said this summer, we going to Virginia for our family reunion. Me, my mom, and grandma are going to Florida. They can keep that international shit. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And that's it, and that's all. A whole fraud. The blue-eyed devil struck again. But we're going to absolutely, Carla Henry, we're going to pray for Ashley's family, that they get justice, they find closure, they get peace, they get all the answers that they need. And they need to stay on Tanzania's neck. I wouldn't let up on nothing. Marty said it's so heartbreaking. No parent should have to bury a child before them. I know. I buried my son and he was 5.5 months old in infancy syndrome. I still feel that pain, and he would have been 50 years old this year. Marty, you're right. No parent should have to feel that pain. No parent. And we send hearts and prayers to you too, Marty. Hugs. You got hugs all around you, girl. No parent should have to bury their child. Ms. Detroit said, that's sad. Beautiful black queen turned white. Got took out of the country and never coming back. Isn't that something? Hey, Cynthia Harmon, welcome. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But we know there's more to this. There's more to this. Layers and layers and layers. And we're going to peel the layers. We're going to get our shovels. We're going to go dig. We're going to dig. Hip hop said to my black women, stop falling for wallets. Character pays better dividends in the long run. That part, hip hop. That part. Hip hop. Let me tell you, I've always said, people laugh at me when I come up with these little sayings. Hip hop, I said I would marry a man that worked on a garbage truck, that had standards, that had morals, and had decency about himself. And I'll take that minimum wage money that he brings home. Then I have to sit there and deal with a six-figure man that think his shit don't stink and try to make me eat shit for breakfast, dinner, and supper any day. Nah, we ain't doing that shit. No, Lord. I'd rather sleep in a ditch and cover my ass with the grass than be laid up in a mansion and have to eat shit for breakfast, dinner, and supper. I wish the hell I would. People don't understand. They're chasing all the wrong shit and losing themselves in the process. No way. Good night, Marty. Marty, we love you, girl. You stayed up with us tonight. Thank you. God bless you, Marty. Character pays better dividends in the long run. Absolutely. You understand, Roz? Roz said, and I won't eat shit politely with a knife and a fork. You understand? Shit. No way. Carla Henry, girl. I mean every word of what I say. I really do. People got life messed up, chasing a dollar. Now your mind all fucked up because you being abused. You're being abused for a nickel. I wish the hell I would. I was raised that my 2 cents, my 2 cents spins better than your 5 cents. Especially if I know what to do with my two. Because you could sit up there and you could have $1 million. But if I manage mine right and save the way that I was taught to save, I could get to $1 million sooner or later. I ain't got to take your shit because you got $1 million on your back. Get the fuck up out of here. Good night, Miss KK. Thank you for stopping by, girl. Look at Marty. I'm a white woman, and I fell for a black man. Was married to him 27 years. Then I took the blinkers off. Marty crazy as shit. Marty, I knew Marty was a white woman. I bet you y'all never knew Marty was a white woman because Marty been in here talking shit from day one. And we love her. We love her. But neither here nor there, guys. We done did what we came out here to do. We enjoyed the night as we always. We sure did. Over here, no matter what they say, feel, or think, we're family over here. We talk about it all. And that's what I love about the community that we've built. Everybody here is somebody. Hip hop said, I drive a forklift for $18 an hour and would guide a woman and treat you 100 times better than that motherfucker that feels like he doesn't need you because he's making 6 figures. We could build or we could cut it off. Hip hop talk you shit. Because that's the way it should be. Now, hip hop, you saying what you saying the way you saying it. Hip hop, you was raised well. You were raised well. Absolutely, Cynthia Harmon, looking good on the outside and full of evil on the inside. Hell yeah, I ain't got time for that shit. I thank God for everything that my parents instilled in me. Sure do. Tony, you better tell her we love up somebody. Absolutely, PJ. Ain't nobody got time for that shit. You done sit up there and you being with somebody for money. Now you done sign your own death certificate because you in debt for the rest of your life. You owe me. I'll be there. I made you. You made what? No, bitch. That ain't what we're doing. That ain't what we're doing. There's 24 hours in each day. And everybody got an opportunity to make the best of those 24 hours. And if you sit your lazy ass down and decide to do nothing with your 24 hours and expect handouts, well, that's the end result. That's the end damn result. You will forever be eating shit from somebody else. Absolutely, Nartalk. Nartalk says, I trust no man. Only my sons because I raised them. Absolutely. Shit. But guys, we're getting out of here. We're going to get out of here. I'm going to have me a few little cocktails. And I'm going to pull my shovel out. And I'm going to do my little digging. But we're going to probably hop back on the porch tomorrow. I'll let you know in advance. But neither here nor there, we will be back because, baby, we got this onion to unpeel. So, guys, thank you all for hopping on the porch with me tonight. I love you all. Good night and God bless.
We stand tall, we rise as one. No lapels, the work ain't done. No. Mocha leading from the heart, never run. Truth and care and everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. Team full of truth and a chat full of cheer. Mocha in the seat, steady steering the ship. Every topic got depth, every comment got grip. We don't tear folks down, we just build them up. If you're moving off love, then you one of us. No the pride in the room and the vibe so loud. Every bell in the check gon' rep that crowd. Stand tall, we rise as one. No lapels, the work ain't done. Mocha leading from the heart, never run. Truth and care and everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. This is family. This is family. And we stand tall. Down in the north where the soul don't break. Mocha built the lane where the real ones stay. Ain't no faking the funk, ain't no playing for clout. You bring that mess, we gon' sort that out. But this ain't about drama, it's about love. It's about healing, it's about trust. Every child, every voice, every name in the breeze. We gon' stand for the ones no one else gon' see. So we rise tall, we rise as one. Oh, no, no bellows, the work ain't done. Mocha leading from the heart, never run. Truth and care and everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. This is family. This is family. And we stand tall. One mic, one tribe, one mission in mind. We protect what's right and we hold that line. It's the chat where the truth and the love collide. Where the voices don't hide and the pain gets light. We see you, we feel you, we fight for the cause. Every kid, every tear, we break down walls. When you hear that bell, that's the call to act. We family now, and that's just facts. We stand tall, we rise as one. No lapels, the work ain't done. Mocha leading from the heart, never run. Truth and care and everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. This one's for every voice we fight for and every child who needs to be heard. We see you, we feel you. We stand with the truth. This is the No Labels. Leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. Stand tall. Join the family.
Good night, everyone. God bless.